Oh my god, I haven't been on here in like forever, but we're back and we're like way better. Like, okay, today's video is gonna be on the crocheted skirt. When I tell y'all, this skirt is gonna be so beautiful, so cute, so easy and simple. It is gonna take you like at least a week, but I mean, if you have like a 9-to-5 job, it's probably gonna take you some time. But I'm definitely gonna hold myself accountable to make these videos for y'all at least once a week, okay? So every Sunday, you guys will get a new tutorial because I'm tired of y'all fighting me in my comments on TikTok, okay? So you guys will get a new video every week. Okay, so you're only gonna need your yarn, size 4. Make sure your yarn looks like this, okay? Not that chunky little yarn that comes apart, okay? This specific yarn, size 4, okay? Go to Michael's, get you the yarn, okay? Now we're gonna start the waistband. So you're gonna start with the slip knot. And I'm pulling the yarn tightly and we're gonna chain only 7, okay? Yarn over and pull the yarn through 7 times. Don't tell me y'all I'm going too fast, because I am not, okay? I made sure to slow it down for y'all. 7 chains. Now we're gonna single crochet into the 6th chain, and then we're gonna single crochet all the way down this row. This is gonna be our very first row. Okay, so now that we are done with our single crochet row, this is how it should look when you're finished. We're going to continue the pattern by chaining 2 and turning our work over. This entire piece, after each row, you will be turning your work over and continuing. And we're always going to continue the pattern in the back loops for this entire waistband, okay? We're only stitching into the back loops of the entire piece. So we're half double crocheting into the back loops for this row, and in order to keep track of each row, I like to call them houses. Okay, so the single crochet row that we just did plus this row will be 1 complete house. We're gonna do 26 complete houses for this piece because this is gonna be a size medium. If you are a large or a small or a different size, the sizing can be changed by you just trying on the waistband and seeing if it fits your waist. If it does not fit your waist, then you should obviously add more houses or do less houses. Here you can really see the pattern that I was referring to. It looks really rigid on the back part, but you can also kind of see both houses on the front. Another tip that I find really helpful when making like pants or skirts, I like to make the waistband maybe like 2 inches bigger, because my butt is a little big. Clock it. My butt is a little big, so I gotta make sure, you have to make sure that the waistband obviously fits over your butt, but doesn't stretch when it gets to the waist, if that makes sense. You wanna get the perfect fit, okay? You don't want it to fit over your butt, but then the waistband looks like baggy once it gets to your little tiny petite waist, you know? So you definitely have to get the right sizing for you. But we're gonna continue this pattern until we get to house 26 or until the house that you need to get to. Okay, so once you reach this point in the video, you should be halfway done with the waistband. And I'm gonna count right now and see how many houses I have, but this right here I'm showing you is gonna be the inside of my skirt, and the smooth part is going to be on the outside. But you can pick which side you want to be, like on the inside, on the outside for your piece, of course, period. Now we're just gonna continue the pattern. I'm just getting my yarn ready, and yeah. Another tip I would also say is make sure you're counting how many stitches you have, because when I was first beginning to do waistbands, I had no idea how easy it was to skip a stitch. But for this entire waistband, you should have 6 stitches in total for each single row. And here I'm gonna start counting how many houses I have, and I have 23 here, so we're gonna do 3 more houses and we will be done. And we're gonna start attaching both ends of the waistband together. Okay, so now that we have 26 out of 26 complete houses total, I'm going to chain 1 and we're going to start connecting both ends, okay? So decide which side you want to be the inside, which side you want to be the outside of your skirt, okay? I already told y'all which side I'm choosing. So as we are connecting, I'm going to make sure the rigged part is on the outside, because when we connect it here, it's going to also have like a rigged line, so you can know like which side is the inside of your skirt. So right now I'm going to go in, take my hook and go into the piece that I'm connected to and go into the other side, if that makes sense. Okay, watch what I'm doing. Okay, we're going in on this side and we're gonna go in on the other end and just single crochet it together. Okay, we're gonna go into each stitch, each of the 6 stitches on both sides. Okay, both sides got the same 6 stitches. Okay, go into both sides and combine both sides together. Okay, watch me, watch it and clock it, watch it and clock it. There's no way y'all can miss this. Okay, there's absolutely no way. Okay, you see how easy and simple that was? Like, what the heck? Now we have a fully connected waistband. Try her on, okay? See if she fits over that butt you got, okay? And see if the waist part is just as perfect, okay? Without too much stretch. Reminder, you can add like a string on the waistband so you can tighten it, but still you don't want it to look baggy at all. Now I'm gonna flip my piece inside right, and we're gonna continue a new pattern. We're gonna single crochet around the entire perimeter. And I know that it's kind of hard to see like individual stitchings here, but that's why we're adding the single crochet row, so that we have a smooth base to start from. And in total, you're gonna have 92 stitches. And we're also gonna do 2 single crochets into certain random spaces as well, okay? I'm not gonna lie, this part is a little tricky, but literally just go with the flow. And at the end of this single crochet row, just make sure you have 92 stitches. Like, I'm not even joking. Just do 2 increases randomly. Like, you'll figure it out. I promise I don't have a pattern for this. This is how it should look once you're done with the single crochet. That's how we want it to look afterwards, okay? Just make sure you have 92 stitches at the end of this row. I promise you, I'm doing like random increases within this row in order to get the 92 stitches. And definitely don't be afraid to count your single crochets as you go, because that's literally the easiest way. You'll find by the end you get to the row, like, you'll have your 92 stitches if you count. And make sure, like, okay, if you're halfway through to the end of the row and you're still at like stitch 20, that means you need to start over, girl. You need to start over and add some more increases, because by the time you're in the middle, you need to be at least at 50 or so. And if you're in the middle and you're at 50 stitches or a little less, then you won't even need to increase anymore for the rest of the single crochet row. But I promise, if you just count, it'll be so easy for you. Like, literally just count and keep track, okay? I promise. Okay, we are now reaching the end of the row, and I have 92 stitches in total. And we're going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet that we did by going into the stitch, yarning over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the stitch on your hook. We're going to chain 2, and now we're going to start the actual skirt, period. This is going to be the outside of my skirt that I was telling you all about. It looks very nice, very cute so far. This is the inside of my skirt. Okay, so now we're gonna start by half double crocheting into the next stitch, not the stitch that you attach the chain to, but the next one. Half double crochet by yarning over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all loops on your hook. Chain 1, half double crochet into the same stitch, pull through all 3 loops. Chain 2. We're going to count 2 at the bottom here, okay? We're going to count 1, 2, and then we're going to half double crochet into the 3rd stitch, okay? Skipping those 2, half double crochet into the 3rd stitch, okay? The 3rd stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern that we just did. Half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet into the same stitch, chain 2, skip 2, repeat, okay? Tell me you get it. Tell me you get it. I know you do. I slowed it down. I slowed it down in my voice. Tell me you get it, please. I want to hear y'all in the comments. Tell me you get it, okay? We're going to repeat this exact same pattern for the entire row, all right? Repeat this same exact pattern for the entire row. I'm not playing, y'all. The lyrics is on the screen. You hearing it in my voice, and you watching it, okay? I don't want to hear that y'all ain't getting it. I'm getting it, y'all getting it, all right? We all getting it, period. Okay, so we are now at the end of the row. I'm doing my last half double crochet in my last chain 2. There is one stitch left, but that doesn't matter, she's irrelevant. Okay, we are now going to slip stitch into the very first half double crochet that we did. Okay, we're ending the first row, doing our slip stitch, go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through that last stitch on your hook, that last loop. We're going to chain 2, and now we're going to admire our very first half double crochet row that we did. Okay, look at that, very cute. I hope you tried her on by now as well. Okay, now we're going to continue the same pattern but with a little bit of a twist. Okay, we're going to half double crochet like normal, but we're going to go inside of the V that we just made. Okay, chain 1, half double crochet again, chain 2, and repeat. We're going inside of the V's that we just made. Okay, and on this row we're going to increase 4 times total. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys one in just a sec, but remember, we're going to increase 4 times because we want this skirt to be a little flowy. We don't want it to be tight fitted. Okay, so we're going to increase gradually. So to increase, we're not going to go into a V, we're going to go into a square. Okay, and we're going to do the same pattern, the half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 2, and continue your pattern in your V's. Okay, continue your pattern until you're ready to do your next increase, which will also be in a square space like we did the first one. Okay, and you're going to do this 4 times. You see that increase right there in the square? We're going to have 3 more of those around the second row. Okay, space out your increases. Okay, they don't gotta be right up on each other, you know. Maybe count maybe 5 if you want to be technical. Okay, maybe not 5, maybe like 7 if you want to be technical. I really didn't count, I just spaced them out all over the second row. Okay, but do you. Again, I don't have a written pattern for this really, so I'm really just DIYing it. Okay, don't make crocheting harder than it needs to be. Okay, it's supposed to be fun. You can be technical if you want, but I didn't really specify how many spaces I skipped until I did another increase, so I'm not going to force you guys to do that. Okay, but yeah, just make sure you increase 4 times within this second row and continue your pattern like normal. Okay, so this is what we're working with right now. I am on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm on row 7. I just continued the half double crochets that we were doing. After this second row of increases, I didn't do any. Okay, don't do any more increases after this second row. Just continue the rest of the rows just like how we did the very first row. Okay, just go into each V, and you see once we added those 4 increases, it just literally blends right into the pattern. So like I said, I don't want this to be tight fitted. I do want it to be a little loose, like flowy like. I'm just gonna make it, I also changed it. I don't want to make a super long skirt because my photo shoot has to be next week, Saturday, and I've been working and I've been really busy, so I haven't had a chance to like work on this piece as much as I wanted to. That's why I called off today, period. But anyway, I'm gonna make it a short skirt and I'm gonna kind of change it. It's gonna be cute regardless, okay? Y'all know it's gonna be cute, but literally just continue this pattern until you get to the length you want. I think I'm going to probably end it at, this is row 7, so maybe row 12 would be enough for it to be short fitted, but maybe like right after the butt, you know? I don't want it to be too long. There's a freaking mosquito in here. Get out. Yeah, just continue the pattern, guys. Literally don't make it any more difficult than it needs to be. You don't need to do any more increases unless you want like a huge flowy skirt, but this is not what that is. So don't do any more increases after that second row. Literally just finish how I'm doing it right now. That one row is literally all you needed to get the fit that we're trying to get. And I will be back at row 12. Yeah, maybe row 12. I think that'll be the length that we want. Also, if you try your skirt on, you can really see the shape of it forming. Okay, so I'm almost done, and I actually did 14 rows of half double crochet. Because it was giving mini skirt at row 12. Even though this kind of is still a mini skirt, once I steam it, it's kind of gonna drop just a little bit, but it's still gonna be cute. And I call these doubles, by the way. I'll tell you guys the count for row 12. Wait, no, row 1, row 1 and row 14. I call these doubles, this group right here, and then I count how many there are in each row. Okay, so this is the last one. We're gonna slip stitch like we've been doing, And for row 15, I'm gonna chain 1. And for this row, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet all around, starting with this space here. Gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2 here. And in every V, we're gonna do 2. In every square space, we're gonna do 2. And once we start adding the beads, this is kind of going to give a little more stability when we add all the weight from the beads on there. Even though it's not really going to be heavy, but still, we kind of want it to be sturdy and secure on a piece and not freaking hanging on by a thread. Where are you guys like from at this point? Like, I feel like I'm becoming so close. We're just gonna do this all around, and we're gonna slip stitch into the very first single crochet that we did. And then I'm gonna come back and show you guys how we're gonna add the beads and the little shingles at the bottom. This is how it looks after the single crochet. See how it adds like that neat like touch? That's how it looks. Oh, my camera's shaking. This is how it looks before. Y'all got this. I promise y'all. Like, this is like so easy and simple. I do not like making stuff complicated with this, okay? Like, everything can be so simplified with this. And then you guys also got to learn how to read patterns, okay? Like, that is also gonna help you when you're like searching on the internet for like patterns. Also, yeah, there are a lot of free patterns online too. But let me know what other videos you guys want me to make. And I'll find a pattern as well and teach you guys how to follow it. But yeah, I'm gonna come back when I start adding the beads, okay? Y'all got it. Okay, so here is where I started doing the beads and adding the shingles at the bottom. I did 3 beads at the end of each. And then I did single crochets in 3 lines at the bottom. I promise you guys, this is like so easy and simple, but it's so cutesy. And then I just added like an extra long string at the bottom just in case it's not the length that I want when I finally try it on the model. You can also see that after each beaded piece, I skipped 2 rows, and then I added another beaded piece into that 4th row of doubles, if that makes sense. I'm going to show you guys anyway. So here I'm skipping 2, and then I'm just attaching my yarn to the 3rd one, or the 4th one I guess, and I'm just attaching my yarn through and doing 2 simple knots, and then I'm going to start adding the beads. Okay guys, watch me very closely on this part though, okay? I'm slipping the bead onto my crochet hook first, and then I'm going into the piece and kind of doing a single crochet with the bead. Pulling it through and doing a little single crochet afterwards, and then I'm gonna slip on another bead, and then I'm just gonna pull the yarn through and do a single crochet on that one as well. and then I'm going to chain 90. Okay, so here I'm just pulling on the extra yarn just a little bit, so you have a little bit of hang time after the chain 90. I'm gonna slip stitch my yarn through and close the stitch, and then we're gonna start on the 2 that are on the sides. Okay, this part is a little bit more, but I promise you it's still easy. You're going to attach your yarn just like how we did when we were attaching the beads. Attach your yarn into the exact same stitch. Okay, it's going to be 3 lines in total for each beaded part. Okay, so this is the second line that we're doing right now. I'm just adding my yarn and attaching it by doing 2 simple knots like we did before. And I'm gonna chain 95. Okay, so for this second one and for the third line, we're gonna do chain 95. Only for the lines that have the beads on them actually attached, you're going to chain the 90 that we did. Okay, so don't get lost in the sauce. For the second and the third lines, chain 95 like I'm about to show you guys right now. And for the actual beaded ones, like we did already, chain 90. Okay, okay, so here I'm just pulling on some extra yarn, cutting my yarn, closing the stitch, and now we're gonna start on our third and final line for this exact stitch, I guess you can call it. I don't really know how to explain it to you guys because like it's kind of hard like explaining this exact part, but 3 lines in 1 stitch like I said, and right now we're just gonna do the third one. So just add your yarn like we've been doing, attach your yarn, and do the 2 knots like we've been doing. Okay, and then I'm gonna chain 95 since this is the third line for this stitch. Okay, so now we're gonna start working on pulling the second line as well as the third line into the beads. I promise you, it's just as easy as this entire piece has been. Okay, we're gonna fly past this. So I'm taking one of the extra strings and literally putting my hook through the bead and then pulling that line through each bead one at a time. I did not try to pull it through all three at once. You can try if you want, but I just didn't try that. You probably can do that, but I just did one by one because I didn't want it to mess up any of my stitches that I had previously done. Like I didn't want the crochet hook to like pull on anything, so I did it one bead by one bead, and I did the same exact step for the third line that I'm gonna pull through as well. And you're gonna do this for each and every one of your beaded pieces, and yeah, just go around your entire bottom of the skirt doing this, and you will soon enough have one of the best crochet pieces you ever motherfucking made. Okay, I can't wait to show you guys the final product. But this is the last step. This is the last freaking step, guys. After you have completed the bottom of your skirt with these little beads and the strings, this is the final step, besides like making sure all your loose ends are secured and cut off and all that good stuff. Y'all don't need me to show y'all that. Y'all got that. Okay, if y'all do need me to show you, I'll show you in a separate video because I actually didn't record that. But yeah, you guys, we did it. Okay, we finally finished this piece, and I can't wait to show you guys how it looks. Okay, so this is how your piece should be looking once you're done adding all the beads and the lines of single crochets. I still have a few random strings left out right now, but I'm gonna hide and cut those. But yeah, it's super cute right now, and I actually accidentally lied earlier. We do have one more part to this video, which will be the waist strings for the waistband, so you can adjust and tie it how you want. And then that's actually the last part, but yeah. Okay, so right now I'm just prepping my yarn and getting it ready for the waist string, and I'm going to do a slip knot, and we're gonna chain 200 stitches, well, 200 chains. Yep, 200 chains. Honestly, it's really not that bad. Once you get to like 150, you realize, okay, we almost done. But the reason why we're chaining 200 is because we're gonna be making 2 waist strings and adding it onto the waistband. It's gonna be the waist strings that hang out on the sides instead of the one that just comes towards the front, if that makes sense. You'll get it later on, but yes, for this one we're gonna be chaining 200, and we're gonna do this twice, so we're gonna be chaining 400 in total for the waist strings. Okay, so once you've chained your 200, you're going to do a single crochet into the 199th chain, and then you're going to continue single crocheting all the way down. So going into the stitch, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through both loops on your hook. And you're just going to do this all the way down until you get to where you very first started. So here I'm just finishing up my last few single crochets for this waist string, and we're gonna cut the yarn off and we're gonna pull the yarn through and close the stitch. So now we're completely done with one of the waist strings, and we're gonna make another one because it's gonna have 2 waist strings on the waistband. Okay, sorry, but it's for the look. Okay, so just do another chain 300 and single crochet back down those chains. Okay, so if you look closely, you can see that there's a rigged line right here, signifying this is the inside as well as the back of the skirt. Okay, so now that we're done with both waist strings, we're gonna start attaching it and sifting it through the waistband. I'm starting from one side, right before the side of the body where I think it will land on the skirt. So I'm just putting my hook through right before the side of the skirt, and I'm pulling the string through, and I'm making sure I'm close to the end on one side of the string so I can pull it through easily. I'm gonna skip one house on the band and I'm gonna pull it through the next band. And I pull it through kind of near the bottom of the waistband because that's normally kind of how the belt kind of fits on a regular clothing piece. Once you try it on, you'll see how it looks, but I feel like this fit is better when you have the string towards the bottom of the waistband. And just continue to sift it through. You'll have to go through the inside and the outside of the skirt, if that makes sense. You can see I'm on the inside of the band right now, pulling that waist string through, and now I'm on the front side, pulling it through as well. This part is pretty simple. Just keep pulling it through, sifting it through each side until you get to the other side, to the other end of the waist. And do the same thing for the back. This piece does have 2 waist strings, so we can have that. It's a specific look that I want it to look like. That's why I'm doing 2 waist strings instead of just 1. I want the strings to come out on the sides instead of being basic, like just coming out on the front. Like, nobody wants that. Okay, we're gonna do something a little different and put the waist strings on the side. I love this look. And this is how the front side should look so far. I'm done adding the front string, and I'm just gonna measure both ends to make sure that they're both the same length and one isn't shorter than the other. I have successfully put on both strings onto the waistband, and make sure to stop your waistbands at least 1 house in between, so that when you tie it, it's not like all bunched up, you know? And both sides I have 1 house still available, and the strings are falling on this side, which is exactly how I want it to be. Now, you don't have to do this every day, but I'm gonna add beads on the bottom of the strings here. It's gonna be 4 beads, and yeah, that's also gonna add a nice little touch to it as well. One tip, if I could go back, I would probably add smaller beads. I wouldn't do bigger beads because when I hold it up, it is a little heavy. When I hold it up, it is a little heavy, but oh shoot, I forgot to do this one. But I think it'll work out perfectly when the model actually tries it on, so hopefully it's not that big of a deal. Don't mind my dog, guys, please. She's scared of the rain and the thunder. But this is how it looks after I added the smaller beads onto the waist. Tied in a little knot. I was supposed to be doing my photo shoot in like 2 hours, but it's looking like that will not happen. Thank you so much, Florida. But yeah, this is how it looks, and I'm going to show you guys it standing up. She is fully finished, and I'm super happy with how it came out. The next video will be on the bikini top to match. So this is how it looks. It kind of has like a drooping effect where the beads are, which I think looks kind of cute. Hopefully it looks just as cute as the model has it on. But yes, my photo shoot is tomorrow. So you guys will see some pictures on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I will see you guys on the next video. You can trust in me. I can, you said I can trust in you.